Hey guys, how's it going? M.K.S here, back in another video. Welcome to part 2 of my of some of my imaginations for NeuroDIVERGENT Billionaires network. I forgot this is like a process, if you like, a list in a process form, I guess. I've read somewhere it says a process, not a plan or whatever. But I suppose part of me wanted to sort of list it in a step-by-step process. I sort of failed with that in part 1. I forgot what I was doing, but anyway, I just thought I'd do it for a bit of fun anyway, as I said in part 1. But I'm just hoping, thinking of saying touch wood because near this desk and the table or whatever, cabinet or whatever it is, and also I say touch wood and touch med, but I think I'll say God willing and Godspeed, my videos will last for as long as possible. So yeah, I hope my channel won't be deleted. Hope I'm not jinxing it either, but I'm thinking like, because if you I think YouTube doesn't like it if you post too much. One of the things I was thinking about is like a neurodiverse billionaires network, or even I say neurodiverse or neurodivergent, whichever term you want to use, buying out YouTube. Should be careful what I say. I guess YouTube, TikTok. I guess TikTok, not TikTok. It's Twitter that's owned by Elon Musk, isn't it? But if a group of neurodiverse or neurodivergent, again, whichever term you want to use, people buy out YouTube, TikTok, and all the other social media platforms, if we get to monopolize as well. But I did say in part 1 I'm not that materialistic, but it would be interesting to see what we could do, especially when YouTube deleted my channel. I thought, mind if I bought them out to get revenge, but I think it's the same for Facebook. But anyway, here goes. These are pointers number 11 to 20, and because I started this a bit late, I came up with the idea a bit late, and I was a bit bored, thought I might as well do this. It's already technically a new day. I wanted to do it on Friday. I think it probably doesn't matter that much, but I'm just thinking I don't want to I don't want to waste tomorrow. I hope I'm active with my writings and ideas and things like that, but see how it goes. Try and plan that out maybe a bit later or tomorrow, whatever. Technically today. Anyway, sorry, baffling. So yeah, these are pointers number 11 to 20. So here you go. So number 11, I think something like this would really change the perception maybe of neurodiverse conditions where people see us as like slow or backwards or whatever. Incidentally, I've just remembered as well, like in September, I thought like special needs September, but I was thinking about like in the past I said it'll be hard to see someone like Bill Gates as being like special needs, because normally I think of this perception, and I'm sure most people do, of like special needs being like people who are really backwards academically, especially, and in other areas perhaps, and need help. But it'd be hard to see someone like Bill Gates being labelled as special needs, or someone like Elon Musk, or especially Bill Gates. I thought it'd be hard to imagine that, but I guess he would come under neurodiverse. And the funny thing is, neurodiverse and special needs kind of mean the same thing, really, which are people with differently wired brains. But again, I think special needs would normally be classed as someone who is not the brightest. So it'd be hard to see someone as like Elon Musk, or especially Bill Gates, as being like special needs. But at the same time, it shows the difference in like psychology and perception. Like just special needs and neurodiverse mean the same thing. But yeah, I can see someone as like Elon Musk and possibly Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, maybe Mark Zuckerberg. I think Larry Ellison, I read he's dyslexic, but I'm not sure how much evidence there is on that. And even one of the co-founders of Google, I'm not sure if it was Sergey Brin or Larry Page or whatever. I'd be interested in the two Larrys, dyslexic or whatever. But yeah, I've read about lots of people who said dyslexic, like Larry Ellison. I think it might be Sergey Brin. And one or two others. So I don't know how much evidence there is in that. I know people say they're dyslexic, like Charles Schwab, Richard Branson, although he said he's not a billionaire, which unfortunately for him, he won't be able to join this now. I'm just partly joking, but anyway, yeah, so it will change perception. But I suppose thinking about changing perceptions, quite coincidentally, I included like how it'll be hard to see Bill Gates as being special needs, but you could see him perhaps as being neurodiverse. But moving on, number 12. So yeah, I'm sure it inspire a lot of people. I normally think point number 12 is like inspirational motivation and that kind of thing, especially on Mondays, like motivational mentorship and things like that. That's what they could provide as well, mentorship as well as motivation, being motivational characters and role models, but also even mentors for younger people with neurodiverse conditions and taking them under their wing and hopefully helping them. Unfortunately, I'm not young anymore, but yeah, giving young people opportunities. I'd love for young people to have opportunities I had when I was growing up. I didn't take the most of them, or make the most of them, but I only had a bit of brain to make the most of them. But yeah, it'd be interesting. I said like in the past, I've said quite a few times, and I said in part one as well. But it would be interesting if someone like me achieved setting this thing up, like as an idea, and it just worked out somehow. Just by making videos, I'd love to find an easy way, or even easy ways to make money. I forgot to say in point number 7 actually. There's always something pretty much, but I have no embarrassing moment where I forget what I thought. Yeah, if I could make a video like this and neurodiverse, I know I mentioned it in passing, but neurodiverse people, neurodiverse billionaires said, oh yeah, that's a really good idea. Like if someone like Elon Musk worked with, let's say if Mark Zuckerberg does have Asperger's and or whatever term you're using, ASD or whatever, autism spectrum disorders, if Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg both have that condition, and maybe even people like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, what if they all work together and like even monopolize industries like AI, app development, AI apps, robotics. I get robotics and AI mixed up, but I kind of know what robotics is, but a little bit. But so I don't know what it is. I don't know much about it, but I don't know how it works or whatever. But yeah, social media and websites and all sorts of different businesses. What if they could monopolize such industries? I don't know if I can say we, if I say this up, but yeah, I'd love for, let's say, somehow Elon Musk to stumble across this mad guy here, i.e. me, and say, oh yeah, that would be great if I listened to this mad Musk's idea, and I could network with others and we could put our differences aside. Even like Elon Musk has often said bad things about Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg, but what if they could say, oh, we're all, if they are, let's say, all three of them are autistic, they could all work together and like maybe create one huge video sharing platform and like make sure it's as good as possible, make sure the AI algorithm stops linking people off channels, hopefully. And I'd love to promote freedom of speech, and I suppose that's what X is supposedly supposed to be doing. But I think that also means when you disagree with people as well, because freedom of speech and freedom of expression, I suppose the same thing, is kind of most pertinent, that's a big word for me, most apt when it's something you disagree with, because pretty much anyone would support freedom of speech when it agrees with them. When something that you don't agree with and you support it, that's when freedom of speech is most difficult to support. I guess that's the point of freedom of speech, is to say I disagree with your point of view, but I'll defend your right to it. That's my opinion anyway. And as ever, I'd love to know your opinions on that note in the comments, if you'd be so kind. Number 13, I guess I've got to admit, I do have my doubts. I want to make these videos. I worry if I bore people, offend people, if my ideas will ever get off the ground, or whatever. I have my negative thoughts and doubts and whatever, but I suppose I don't have, other than time, which I guess, ironically, time is the most important thing in many ways, or certainly one of the most important things in my opinion. But I guess in many ways, other than time, which I guess if I'm not spending my time doing anything else, I guess it's worth the risk. But to me, time is probably more important than money in many ways. In fact, I'm sure it is in most ways. I won't say in every way, but to a certain level, obviously you need a certain amount of money to pay your bills. And in some ways, having less time can be better if it's things you don't enjoy. But I think time is very precious. Again, I don't know. How about you? What do you think? But yeah, I suppose I don't imagine like people like Elon Musk, especially Bill Gates or people like that, watching many YouTube videos. But it'd be interesting if they did stumble across this. And yeah, that would be really cool. If I network with others, it could mean I could go into other areas, because not only would I have my own money and capital to invest, but this network would also be able to pool our money and resources together, and even like politically and legally lobby together, and maybe like learn from each other as well, and learn from the customer about how to improve the customer service, how to promote freedom of speech and that kind of thing. I don't know if I should. So I'm point number 13, but another thing I'd say for point number 13, I hope I don't forget anything, is my selfish dreams about supporting Italian football teams like Inter Milan, Fiorentina, AC Milan, even though they're rivals with Inter Milan, Juventus, again, although they're rivals with Inter. I'm wearing an Inter cap, sorry. But so yeah, supporting Italian teams like fundraising, a NeuroDIVERGENT Billionaires network. I'd love for them to sponsor Serie A, the Coppa Italia, the Italian Super Cup, and even like footballs in schools, things like even like billions, and that kind of thing. I'd love to make Italian footy become worth billions to investors. But I suppose neurodiverse people generally as well could share ideas on how they could do that, especially those who have run their own businesses. But moving on, number 14, I dream will solve lots of problems together. I know I said in part 1, for instance, that if I ever had networks like this, it would help with my other goals because I'd have the capital to invest in those things, like supporting other neurodiverse people, set up their own businesses, supporting people in Africa, and tackling problems, whether that's climate change / global warming, illnesses, diseases, and whatever other problems are facing the world. I was thinking, like, I know I mentioned about like I don't really have much to lose, but other than I suppose thinking like I hope I'm not too cringeworthy, and sometimes I do like at night to think. I do stay up at night and think, oh, I hope I didn't say the wrong thing. I hope I didn't bore people. I hope I didn't offend people. I hope I didn't do all those things and whatever. And sometimes I worry whether people like my stories and jokes and whatever. But I guess I do my best. And I guess I'd rather give it a go than not. And discuss the idea and see where it goes. And then hopefully I won't have too many regrets. Probably as few regrets as possible. I'm talking about Switch or whatever. Moving on to number 15. So yeah, I talked about my 5 causes as well. I'd say from a selfish point of view, although those 5 causes, I mean the Italian football thing, cause number 1, is like a selfish thing. Celtic, I don't really see as being selfish, as I said in the past, because they went through poverty and oppression and were actually set up as a charity initially. So I don't really see that as selfish, although it kind of is, because I'd love to see them winning trophies, and I'd be happy to see them win trophies. I talked before about how I'd love for Celtic to be able to donate all the, as well as Italian teams actually, to donate all our prize money that we get, as a fan. So Italian teams and Celtic donating all the prize money that we get, if you like, to good causes, like whether that's supporting tech in Africa, providing PCs, laptops, training, that kind of thing, helping video game makers in Africa, I think of, because when I started this, it was a Friday, helping startups in Africa, SMEs, and all sorts of things like that, and Asia and around the world, supporting developing nations, basically, and tackling poverty and all those good sort of things, good causes. But yeah, if sponsors sort of matched what we gave away, so said, okay, let's say Inter Milan wins up to 100 million in prize money over time and gives all that money away, and let's say 100 sponsors say we could afford to take a risk, to take a punt on behalf of our PR, and because we've got the capital to do that, we can sponsor Inter Milan, let's say, similar with AC Milan, with their rivals Juventus and all the other Italian teams, and again same sort of thing for Celtic, to match what we give away. Again, we, I say as a fan of those teams, give away to will match what they give away, what we give away. So so like the PIF, for instance, the Public Investment Fund, or Cascade Investments, or even this network. I feel like the original reason why I mentioned that, because I'd love for this network of neurodiverse billionaires to be able to do that. So say we're going to match whatever Italian teams, or Celtic, give away to good causes, to worthy causes. We'll match that as part of the PR and that kind of thing, ideally. Number 16, a bit of a side sort of topic, but I guess, or a side note or whatever, but I guess it kind of is related to what I was talking about, because, to this network, because These are things I personally would support, and I'd love to invest in these things and fund these things, sponsor these things, and even donate to these things, which are my favourite football and of sports teams more generally. Technically, it's that as well now, but my favourite sports team overall is the Italian national team football team. My second is Roma, AS Roma. I'd love for them to be the Giallorossi Galacticos. My third is all the other Italian teams jointly, and my fourth is Celtic. And then after that, I suppose I like Indian cricket and the hockey teams, and perhaps rather controversial, I guess, I love all the brown teams, and I would say like India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh, even though they're rivals and can't stand each other just because they're brown. I don't know if I should say that. But so yeah, those are the sort of things I would invest in and fund and support, including if I managed to make things like this work. So I wouldn't buy like bicycles, motorbikes, cars, big houses, a big house, or things like that, or go on dates, or spend my money on those sort of things like most people do, and most blokes do. But I'll spend money on these sorts of things instead. If I get a sugar mama as well, I'd still spend money on that sort of thing. I never like to pay like other guys, but I'll be able to make that. But as per usual. But yeah, I'd love to see what this group could do, and I have to think like, what if somehow I can make a video like this, make videos like this, these videos, sorry, and I guess I do stutter on my words, so I do find it a bit difficult, as you can probably tell. But compared to what most other people have to do, like bin men, toilet cleaners generally, especially toilet cleaners, or people like that, bless them. I mean, they do jobs so that people like me don't have to do them, I guess, rather than me. But I appreciate them and I respect them. I don't look down on anyone. I'm not in a position to look down on anyone because I'm a bum. But yeah, that's why I say it'd be ironic if I achieve something like this. Yeah, I'm a lazy bum myself. But yeah, if I just make a video and then somehow, it's a bit like manifestation, I guess. But if only you could just write something on paper and say, I'm going to achieve all this stuff. But I guess they say you've got to take action and work on it as well, unfortunately. But I'd love to see what this group could do, as I say, and I think that covers everything for number 16. So I'm going to move on to number 17. Normally, I say like for number 16, like a committee, or whatever, and that kind of thing. But I suppose I mix those terms up, like committee, network, think tank, collaborative group, or whatever you want to call it. So a group of people who meet up and say, yeah, what we can invest in: gold, silver, AI, apps, or whatever else we think is going to help to make more money and therefore give more power and make better decisions, be able to be involved in the decision-making process. I actually saw a video which mentioned about by a South African entrepreneur called Vusi Thembekwayo, if I pronounce his name right, and he said that you have to get bigger and keep growing no matter where you're at. You have to always keep growing your business. And he mentioned about COVID and said in South Africa, and this probably happened all over the world, they didn't meet the small businesses, like the small entrepreneurs or whatever. They met the big businesses and union bosses and people like that, organizations, government ministers and all that kind of thing. So to really count and have a voice is like the bigger businesses. They're the people who governments listen to, and how you can go around internationally and make big decisions. Baz, I don't know what you think. Number 17. I said, what if we could make this network? What if people like me could make this network? But I guess I'll sing like, say, imagine, if you would. I take things literally. I say, please imagine, to be extra polite. If we manage to achieve these sorts of things, I think that would be really cool. But yeah, hopefully making the world a better place. I know I said I have my doubts, which is true, but I might dream, but try and make the world a better place. And I said about how it would help me with my other goals. Like, I'd love to get into movie making, into making films. I think Film Friday has gone, but scripts and also lyrics and many other great things, hopefully, ideally. So I'd love to make a film called Crocodilian and a film called Monster or The Monster, and other films about people with mental health problems based on personal experiences, even like so semi-autobiographical, you could say. But yeah, I'd say it'd be amazing to see what a group could do. Imagine if someone like me could achieve something like amazing. It would probably show anyone can achieve if I can. But moving on to 18, as I said, I dream that we'll do lots of good things for the world. So even when I say about supporting town football and Celtic, I still say I dream that we'll have. I know Celtic already has a foundation. I'm sure many Italian teams do. I know AC Milan does. But I'd love to see those foundations being able to do a lot more work to benefit, like tech in Africa, and say in helping entrepreneurs in Asia, entrepreneurs in Latin America, Aboriginals, Torres and Strait Pacific Islanders, Maoris, Native Americans, and all sorts of often disadvantaged groups, black entrepreneurs and groups like that. So hopefully it'll be a mutual benefit. I hope in return they'll give back to Italian footy and Celtic respectively. But at the same time they'll benefit, so hopefully it'll benefit Italian football and Celtic and all those often disadvantaged groups, including people in Asia and Africa, Latin America and whatnot. But that could expand the fan base in Latin America and Asia and Africa around the world. But moving on, number 19, I'd say I dream that we'd be able to support things like African game makers, Africans in African startups, SMEs, entrepreneurs, software developers, and all sorts of people like that across Africa and Asia and around the world. And number 20, again, I'd love to know what you think. Could we help like Africans in STEM, marginalised groups, disadvantaged groups, or whatnot, and that kind of thing. And I am out, and peace and love.